Volodymyr Zelensky has blasted Russia for sending stand-in props to Turkey to take part in the already delayed peace talks. Vladimir Putin has refused to attend today's negotiations alongside his usual Kremlin forcers and instead sent his Salisbury poisoning spy chief. Zelensky landed in Ankara this morning as he announced he may take part in the negotiations after he holds a meeting with Turkey's president. Neither side has spoken as of yet, with the meeting being delayed until later today. It was announced through Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova as the Kremlin continues to play for time. U.S. President Donald Trump is also not set to attend today in any capacity, but he may still turn up later this week should he see progress being made at the negotiating table. Speaking from Qatar, Trump told reporters he hopes Russia and Ukraine can do something, as the grueling war has to stop now. He is currently in Qatar on the latest leg of his Middle East tour and has spent the morning speaking to U.S. troops. Trump first mentioned he may jet across to Istanbul on Wednesday as he urged Putin to follow suit. Putin had been challenged to turn up to the talks by Kyiv. He declined and has refused to take part in any talks, further angering Ukraine. Instead, GRU military intelligence chief Igor Kostyukov is set to help with the talks for the Kremlin. Kostyukov has a twisted past after he was sanctioned by Britain and the EU over his team's bid to kill former spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia in Wiltshire as part of the infamous Salisbury attack. The nerve agent strike was carried out when Kostyukov was deputy head of the GRU. He was promoted by Putin to a top spy chief shortly afterwards. Putin's negotiators will also see Vladimir Medinsky, a West-hating aide who denies Ukraine even exists, take part. The lack of any pivotal Kremlin official from Putin's top team has already caused an issue for those demanding peace in Ukraine. UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy blasted Putin as he said the despot has only sent low-level officials. The Russian president is currently sat in Moscow holding a meeting with Pромsvязьbank CEO Pyotr Fradkov, according to pictures released by the Kremlin. Putin is not expected to be in Turkey or attend any peace talks anytime soon. Trump says nothing's going to happen on the Ukraine peace deal until he meets Putin in person. Trump is also not set to attend today's potential peace talks in any capacity, but he may still turn up later this week should he see progress being made at the negotiating table. Speaking from Qatar, Trump told reporters he hopes Russia and Ukraine can do something, as the grueling war has to stop. Now Lavrov called Zelensky pathetic for trying to persuade Putin to turn up in person. At first, Zelensky made some kind of statements that demanded Putin come personally. Well, a pathetic person, he said in a televised address to diplomats in Moscow. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova hit back at Zelensky's criticism of Moscow's delegation almost immediately. Speaking at a briefing in Moscow, she called him a dummy, a clown, and a loser. Zelensky slammed Russia for sending a dummy delegation as he touched down in Ankara for a meeting with Turkish counterpart Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov says the Russian delegation is waiting for the Ukrainians in Istanbul. He said, "We don't know how the negotiations will go. We need to wait to see how the negotiations go, and everyone will be ready to make every effort to ensure that they are productive. The Russian delegation is ready, and it is waiting in Istanbul." The Russian delegation present in Istanbul includes Vladimir Putin's failure to attend today's peace talks and speak face-to-face to Volodymyr Zelensky proves the despot is dragging his feet and standing in the way of peace, Sir Keir Starmer has said. Starmer said, "Let me take this head-on, because what's happened today is further evidence that it's Putin who is dragging his feet. It is Putin who is causing the delay in a ceasefire. Ukraine has long been clear, several months ago now, that they would have a 30-day unconditional ceasefire, and we have long said that it's Putin who is standing in the way of that peace." Moscow has hit out at Volodymyr Zelensky after Ukraine's president accused Russia of sending a theatrical delegation to Turkey. Zelensky also slammed Moscow's delegation as being made up of dummies. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova responded today by saying, "Who uses the word dummy? A clown? A loser? Someone with no education whatsoever." NATO and Russia have scrambled warplanes after being embroiled in a dogfight above the Baltic Sea, after a tense standoff over an undercover Russian tanker. Estonian sea and air forces stopped and tried to board an oil tanker called Jaguar, thought to be part of Russia's